Hey guys, I'm Maniacal Red Panda and welcome back to Niche. Today I'm going to show you guys a little spotlight of my water tribe. And up here we have basically our king and queen. I've named them the alphas of this tribe. Rain is one of my favorite creatures because she has birthed basically half of the entire tribe, maybe even more than that, maybe like 3/4. Her children have come up here by the river, and they're going to make their way upriver towards the Hard Island. And these guys are basically my ideal creatures up here. I want to create a fully sustainable underwater tribe so that when we go to the Hard Island, they'll basically just live in the ocean and in the rivers, and they'll go on land only when they need to, whether that's to find food or just to explore. But hopefully they'll have duckbills by the time the Hard Island would come around so that they could just feed from the bottom, which is what these guys are doing down here. They're my ideal society, and I'm really proud that I got them to this stage. That most of them are living under the water. I really love how they look. Like their gills just shining in the darkness. That's amazing. I love it. These guys will never see the Hard Island though, because really recently the jungle update has come out. They're about to come out with the snow update. They've already released the beta, and I've tried testing these guys out with the beta of the snow stuff, and yeah, this island's going to be obsolete. There's going to be no returning back to it, but that's okay. We'll see how they are now, and I'll get to show you guys what an underwater tribe could actually look like. One of the biggest pluses of these guys is that as long as they have their beak, they can always get food from the bottom, and if all of them had beaks, they'd all be gathering 3 food every day, just like a normal niche creature on land would. And they can gather clams, fish. These guys haven't seen a lot of fish around lately, but I have been banishing a lot of creatures. Like, I really just want to specify what our creatures are going to be as much as possible. So I've had to let a lot of creatures go, and I think they were stealing our fish, like this guy over here. But I've had to be very stern with these guys, and I've killed many. They're a very strict tribe. Once they let someone go, you're not a friend anymore, you're an enemy. Just kind of bitter, but it's what they've got to do to survive, because if I left all those creatures roaming around in the water, then they'd continue to steal our food and we wouldn't have any. And I just can't support more than 30 creatures, I feel like, with these guys. Probably what I should do is I should take a lot of them out of the ocean and put them on land, just until we do have that sustainable, more than just a few creatures with beak kind of thing going on. If a lot of creatures had beak, then I would feel more comfortable sending them all back into the ocean. But yeah, I think the next step would be to have a migration back to the land, follow that river upstream, and have a bunch of nests all along the river, go to the trees, find all the berries that we can. I was trying to get rid of him there. But yeah, we just need to collect more food before we can go out into the ocean and try to live there. And just live in the ocean and not go onto the land as much as possible. Right now I'm going to have a few more babies with Rame until she dies, and I'm going to have a few babies with our river creatures up here, and that'll be all that I really show you guys. We most definitely won't go to the Hard Island, but you know, at least you'll be able to see kind of what's going on. In this series, I had a lot of family names going around. The regalest of all regal names was the Sea Salt, Lord and Lady Sea Salt, which is Rame and her husband. And we also had the River Seas, which are up here. I kind of stopped naming them in this episode, but everybody still descends from them. And we had the Palms, there was the Snow Deers, and if ever there was a child who was born with something really detrimental into the group, like if they had no paw or blindness or something like that, I would name them the Rogue Waves. These guys up here are really kept so that they can start collecting food and things like that. I cut down a lot of the berry bushes, but they grow back in just a few days, so it didn't really bother me much. I've got this little one here whose mother also contributed so much to the tribe, so I've kept her around. and she's kind of like the guardian of these creatures since she has the double claw. She protects everyone, makes sure they're okay, and a few predators come out of that dark spot and come to get us. So that's another plus for moving everybody up to the river so that we can help light things up, guard everybody. I feel like I got a little too focused on trying to breed up the perfect creature that I didn't really expand and try to keep it safe. Safety starts to become an issue. And one of my favorite creatures who's swimming in the river right here, his lifespan was reduced because we didn't keep it safe. A predator just snuck up behind him and hit him. It was really sad. He's totally the closest to the perfect creature I've gotten. At least for these guys. I want them all to have bill, maybe stinky tail, maybe fisher tail, I'm not sure. And I was thinking that Digger's Paw would be a really good addition to this tribe because I sniffed out a little bit off camera under the water, and there's a lot of tubers under the water actually, so Digger's Paw would make a great addition to these guys. I like them having that claw and nimble fingers. It's nice for them to be able to attack, so maybe it would be good to just specialize a couple of diggers that can go around. There could be like a digger section and then the normal fishing duckbill section, you know. So let's see what kind of children these guys are going to have. Still going for the same traits, doing duckbill, water body, nibble fingers, or most of the things that I put into the mutations menu. I usually struggle really hard trying to pick the best ones. Eventually, I would like to throw warning dots into these guys. So let's see what we have. These are my two females that I'm really banking on. After Rain passes away, they're going to really take over as head members of the tribe. Sadly, there's kind of a 50% chance they could both have spiky-bodied kids. And this little one, the female, I think, child, is one of the spiky-bodied kids, sadly. But they both have really good children, and any of the spiky-bodied kids, I think I will just send them into the wild, have them collect up some things for us, and they usually all have claws or nibble fingers and claws, so they can make themselves really useful to society. So it's all good. Like this guy in the river, I'm gonna have to kill him because he was going for those fish and he'll go for our berries, so just gotta get rid of him or her. But she has not that long left to live, so if they normally have like 2 or 3 days left to live, I'll just let them roam around until they go on their own. Besides like that guy up there that I did kill, whose bones are on the floor. But you know, I never really see many people go and cut down the berry bushes, but I think that it works. There's a lot of them around here that grow back in 2 or 3 days. I think it's fine. So I'm going to start moving these guys up the river, and hopefully we can have a river nest. I think that would be really pretty. And yeah, I think the big goal would be to cover this river in nests until we got a group of, like, I think you can normally take 10 creatures with you, somewhere around there, that had the duckbill and everything that we're looking for so that they could go on to the next island. And so these are these two's next children. I really want to continue on this Snow Deer's line. I really love this girl. She has warning dots, that double claw. She's pretty fierce. This kid's great too because he has the nimble fingers and the claw, and starting to run out of kids that have the nimble fingers and claw. A lot of them are double claw, so I need to pull that nimble finger back in there, or else add in some digger's paw just so they can get that. I think though that if I did throw digger's paw in there, that I would want there to be digger and nimble fingered creatures. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna attack him. Go away. Don't steal our fish. So it's the next day. Rain had a child we'll go look at. And I'm going to have these two move up here to this tree, and that'll be their nest. And I think that'll be their permanent nest over here. And he has the nimble fingers, so he can start gathering nuts. And all their children will probably have nimble fingers, and if they don't, Claw's fine. There's that big pond up there where they could go fishing. That would be a great spot to put a nest, I think, right in the middle of that pond. That'd be cool. I don't know if there's anything that decreases like the spawn rate of fish in the river or the pond. I don't know. But that'd be really cool to have lake or pond creatures. I like that idea. So she's gonna come over here. I'm gonna put her directly into the river and then build her a nest. They'll have lots of more beautiful babies. I had a lot of hope for them. Because I felt like they would have just the perfect children with her knight following her into the grasses. But they had kinda disappointing kids. I guess it kind of works out that way sometimes. And these two are really taking over the perfect children's. They're really the new Lord and Lady of the River. But you know, as long as there's someone who's carrying on the ideal genes around, you know? It doesn't have to be the people you thought would at first. I really love this creature, and she's one of the last palms alive of the palm family. But I keep on tossing around like whether or not to breed certain creatures. I think it's better to just pick three pairs and just have them breed and nobody else, and the other creatures can go gather food and things, or sometimes they're banished, like her. She's not long for this world. I'm so bad for this kid. If I never explained it, this orange kid, he was born in the water and had to fight his way to the surface. Look at all the bones we have around. I just realized a lot of creatures have passed away, but we still have 30. There's more bones in the distance. But I really like this kid. This is one of her last children. I think it is Raim's last child because her husband had died. Yeah, Raim is going to do what all of her ancestors have done and jump back into the ocean and swim to its deepest, darkest depths to make her resting place. All of the creatures that can go and swim down to the bottom of the ocean, I like to have them do. It's like a sweet family ancestry thing. I'm trying to pick out who's going to succeed Raim. I'm sure that there's a bunch of good candidates here. I would love for them to be two duck-billed children. I think eventually I do find two duck-billed children that can work. I really want those posing immunities, and then they'll come up and take over these nests. In Raim's memory, these guys keep running into predator after predator. But thankfully, they all have claws, so they're never a problem. They only attacked my guy one time because they snuck up on him out of the blue. And as long as their knight is here with them, I think they'll be fine. She's so badass with her double claw. That's like what she was born to do, is be a knight. I like it. We have a lot of mothers that are ready on the nests. I decided these two would succeed Raim. They're the double duck-billed couple that I really wanted. And we'll still have these guys down here having some children, and Raim's down here. She's reached the darkest point of the waters. She's ready to pass away. Her friend is over here with her to keep her some company, so they're both about to go. I really like the idea of that tradition. Long live Queen Raim. Her descendants will one day make their way to a new island, and they will cover this one before they go. And these guys are also her descendants, and they're making beautiful children. And now let's get rid of this predator. I was really surprised that he snuck up and attacked her, and like, well, maybe they're just not meant to be, you know? Maybe they're just meant to be the pioneers of not the forest, of the river, and scout it out for the generations to come, and then the others will come and really take the river by storm. I think the river would be a great place for these guys to make their home anyways, because then if there's a creature that's born with spiky body or something, most likely spiky body because there's only spiky body and water body in their genes right now. But if someone isn't born with water body, then they can just hop right out of the river and they won't have a lot of damage. And they can become knights like our albino friend over there and really contribute to society instead of losing most of their life like there were two that were born in the ocean and barely survived. So yeah, I'd rather them barely survive way more than barely survive, and really contribute. I love that kid right there. He's cool. These guys are kind of just exploring, gathering food. I think there's a lot of good things a water tribe could bring, especially the fact that they don't have to go onto the land to survive, so they could avoid a lot of stuff. Like if you took them to the jungle, the apes wouldn't be able to get them because they would be in the water. They're great gatherers, great attackers. They can get food basically any ways they want to. Eventually, my hopes for them would be that they would all have warning dots, that they would all have ram horns or something to give them that little bit of extra attack. And yeah. Then if they came up onto the land, they wouldn't look appetizing, hopefully. And if they had some spiky bodies, the spiky bodies could help protect them. And maybe the spiky bodies would have that digger paw, or, well, we would have to have some water bodies with digger paw since the roots kind of get down into the depths of the ocean sometimes. Yeah, that would be their future. This is their present. They very much so impressed me, so I wanted to share them with you guys. This was the closest that I got to my perfect poisonous water tribe. Another path that they could have taken would have been to have gills with toxic body, which could have been really cool. I think maybe it would have been cool to make the toxic bodied gilled diggers. That might have been something to do. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities with the water tribe, and I really love them. I love the dark colors they can get. I love that they all normally have the yellow or orange eyes. It's really cool that whenever I play a water tribe, they're always really dark and have yellow or orange eyes, which really pop. I love that. It's beautiful. Yeah, I think they're one of my favorite types of evolutions, and I really had fun with them getting them to this point. I just knew that I had to show you guys how far they've gotten before the next update came out and they disappeared. So yeah, this is how far my creatures got. I hope that you can get even farther than me and that your creatures reach higher and higher heights in their lives and greater evolutions. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all later.